What's going on, guys? So today I'm here with Ryan. You guys already know him and love him, obviously. But today we're going to be talking about what drives us. So it's a question I've been getting a lot. And you see certain things like Lamborghinis and other things, but Ferraris, of course. And what really drives us? Because it's partly what people think, it's partly not what people think, and it's changed from the last couple of years, from what I began wanting and what my purpose was with doing all this, and all the way to now, how it's changed, but also stayed the same. So it is confusing, but do you want to start out?
Yeah, so for me, when I first got started, I didn't necessarily hate my job, but I didn't want to work corporate. I didn't want to have the idea of having a boss or someone that's looking over my shoulder. So that motivated me to, make enough money with entrepreneurship to not have to work a 9 to 5. And that was my motivation at first. I didn't even care about Ferrari. I didn't care about money. It was more for the freedom. And eventually, once I was able to start making money, it kind of cycled into, I want to help more people, because I know that if I help more people and spend more time doing that, I can make more money simultaneously by providing that value. So I don't know.
Okay, so Ryan started at a little different point. You were a little bit older. You were out of school or still going to school. But you were also working a 9 to 5, right?
Yep, I was working 9 to 5 and going to school and doing little side gigs to try to make extra money.
And you were what, 23, 24?
24.
24? Okay, so when I started, I was about 19 and a half, 20. And mine, like how I started looking stuff up and finding stuff and trying to start entrepreneurship, it wasn't like, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur, what can I do? Mine was, okay, I'm kind of bored, I want to find something to do, but I want to make money. I've always wanted a Lamborghini. I've said that since I was 17. You guys probably heard the story. Anyone would ask me, I'd say, I'm going to have a Lamborghini before I'm 25. People say, how? I'd be like, I don't know, but I will. I'd be like, okay. And I had no idea how. I didn't believe it myself, but I always told myself that. Again, not believing it, which I still do with goals to this day. I halfway believe it, halfway don't. And so it mainly stemmed from, okay, I want to make a lot of money to have the things I want. Because yes, I knew the other things like freedom and all of that comes with making money, but it purely stemmed from, okay, I haven't worked a 9 to 5. I've worked shifts that are maybe 4 hours at a gym or delivering pizzas, and I hated those. And it wasn't like I hated having a boss. I didn't like them, but I didn't like hate that and want to get out of it. But a lot of it started as the car, and I saw like the progress, and then I hated school, and I didn't want to drop out because I thought I needed it for business. And then I started entrepreneurship, started learning all that, and saw that, and I was like, wait, I don't need this. But as long as I was living at home, I wasn't making enough money, I couldn't not go to school. So then I started going part-time a little bit when things picked up, and that's kind of when my goals changed a little bit. It went from wanting the car to, okay, I might be able to get that car pretty soon, but now it's the whole, it almost stemmed from being lazy in a good way. So I'm lazy with things I don't like doing. I won't study for school. I'll do the homework fast, get it done, wouldn't study ever, get bad grades, C's, D's, B's, randomly, A's and PE though. But it stemmed from being partly lazy, but with my personality, I try a little bit of different things and then I'll put it down, I'll get bored. But when I stick with one thing, for me, like early on, it was hockey, and then it changed to the gym. And then now it changed to entrepreneurship. I go all the way with it. I go 100% and I'm super consistent with it, whether it be any of those things. But it's rare to find one of those. And when I found that, that was kind of my way where, okay, I'm willing to work longer for something I like than working the 9 to 5 to just not work. So in order to not do the 9 to 5, I would rather work more doing what I like, even if it's 7 days a week. I'd rather be more consistent and work shorter periods of time than work long, but only a few days.
Yeah.
So my thing was always, I can be consistent, but I have like my limit of how much I can work. And I didn't have to work longer than 9 to 5 every day to become successful with online stuff. It was all learning it. So initially for me, it was the Lamborghinis, the cars. I never really cared much about like a giant house. Like I wanted a cool one. They're expensive here. And I just wanted to be able to live on my own, have the car I wanted, and go from there. And now for me, here, why don't you go first? What is it now for you?
I think now for me is I want to make a bigger impact on people, because I remember when there was a point in time where I didn't think this was all possible.
Yeah.
Like when he got his Lamborghini, I still really was kind of scared and didn't think that was possible. Like I believed in him, but I didn't believe in
You're
me.
like, are you sure you can afford it? Like, what if this? What if that? It's
Obviously I was like the safe player, the dad. Like, but once Tanner got the Lamborghini, that showed me it was possible to be in that financial situation. So now, if I can, help someone that was kind of scared like me at the beginning get out of that scarcity mode and more into like an abundance frame of mind, like Tanner just naturally is. Like Tanner's not afraid of anything; he's just go for it.
just calves.
Yeah. So if I can inspire someone to do that and just kind of take the risk to go after something better, then that's what really motivates me. Obviously, the financial aspect too. Like once he got his car, I got my car probably 4 or 5 months later. I got the Ferrari. That really showed me I want to live that lifestyle.
Well, one thing I noticed with Ryan was he was like super conservative, but I felt like that was holding him back a little bit. So I was trying to push him out of his comfort zone, whether it be financially or what he's doing and what he thinks is possible, whether it be like with YouTube or courses. I'm like, move into this, try this. Like, you can afford a Ferrari, trust me, like, and things like that. And I think once you start doing that and seeing what's possible more, now I started 2 years ago and I was going to be stoked. 4,000 a month, like 10,000 a month was like, whoa, that's a ton. That's probably like the max you can make online.
Yeah.
To if I make under 100,000 in a month, I'd like cry. So it all depends on how it changes, and that confidence that comes with it which is now you have, because you were like, oh, like 30,000 a month, that's a ton. And now you made like 150,000 in 1 month and you're like, crap, if I go below that, like that's my standard now.
Yeah.
And that comes hand in hand, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So for me now, motivation, there's a couple different things. It sounds super selfish, but in the long term, it's not, if that makes sense. But I want all the things. I want a big house. I want a lot of cars. But one thing I really want to be able to do is help people a ton whenever I want. So my big thing isn't giving to charities or starting up my own foundation. Well, cheers, that's fine. That helps too. We need people like that. But what I want to do is, I've always said, help one individual a lot more so than barely impacting, like, okay, here's a meal and I gave it to 100 homeless people, or here's a house, give it to one person. So I want to be able to have so much money. Again, it's going to sound selfish, but it's not selfish. So I can, every time I go out to dinner, I can tip someone over $1,000. If I see someone who needs help and I think they're a nice person, I've been talking to them, I can give them $10,000 here. That's nothing. And I want to be able to do things like that. And then with a couple people, completely change their lives, where buy them a car, buy them a house. Now, obviously, you can't go around random people, but being able to do things like that. And that's kind of like ultimately what I want to do, because yeah, you can have tons of money in the bank, but I don't want to have tons in the bank for the rest of my life. I want to, my favorite things are like tipping pizza guys $1,000, or like giving an Uber driver $10,000, or things like that.
Yeah.
So that's one of the main things. Obviously, the freedom. Obviously, I want more cars and a house, but also doing things like that. Like, it scares me to not be able to do that in a couple years, more so than if it was me being, I'm more scared to go from where I am now to lower, let's just say 10 to 30,000 a month, than I am of going to zero. So I'm more scared of staying where I am, around what I'm making, what I have, than dropping all the way down.
Yeah.
Which is why I take risks. And I know it's kind of counterintuitive, doesn't make sense, but it kind of makes sense when you get there. And I've heard other people say it, I'm like, well, yeah, you just sound stupid. Like, you're just saying that because that's what motivational people say. But you guys know I'm not like that at all. But it is kind of a thing where I'm more scared to not progress than to go all the way down, which it's kind of the same thing, but there's something to it. I can't explain it well enough. So,
because you know how to get from zero to whatever 300,000 a month, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like there's maybe another threshold from 300,000 a month to $1 million, and it's harder, but you want to progress to that.
Yeah.
And you already know how to get to 0 to 300,000, so I think maybe that's why. You want to get to the next level.
It's the growth thing.
Yeah.
So exactly.
Exactly.
You got anything else for him?
Man, I think that's it. So I guess to sum it up, right now your motivation is Lamborghinis, and the choice, the freedom of choice to be able to do things like tip a pizza guy $1,000, and have that freedom.
One thing I hate is people putting down like goals people have, saying, "Oh, you shouldn't have that goal." Like, yes, I want a Lamborghini. Yeah, that's gonna be my starting goal, but
Yeah.
obviously it's gonna change as you go, even if you get it or not. Like, you should have selfish goals like that. You should also have other goals, but if that's what motivates you, that's what motivates you to get started. Might not be why you continue. Same thing people at the gym, maybe. Oh, I want to look good at the beach and get hot girls. And you might do that for a couple months and you're like, okay, I'm here. Where are the hot girls? Oh, they're not here? Well, I enjoy lifting now and it's something I do and I feel good when I do it, so I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yeah.
That's kind of like entrepreneurship too. It can be anything like that.
Exactly.
So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, hit the thumbs up and I will see you guys tomorrow in the next video.